Good evening. This is when I could use a gavel. I'd like to call to order the Urbana City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for Monday, February 16th, 2026. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Wu.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Hersey. Councilmember Hersey. Councilmember Bishop. Councilmember Bishop. Councilmember Wilkin.
Here.
Councilmember Quisenberry.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, first on our agenda tonight is approval of minutes of previous meeting from Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2026. Those are city council meeting minutes.
I'll move approval.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Grace, for the second. Any substantial corrections or comments on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. That passes unanimously. Are there any additions to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentations and public input. And we're going to start out first with fire department promotions.
Does this thing work? Is this thing on? There we go. All right. Mayor, members of the City Council, City Administrator, and members of the community, thank you for allowing us a few moments this evening. Tonight, the Urbana Fire Department has the privilege of recognizing a significant milestone in the career of one of our firefighters. Promotions within the Urbana Fire Department are earned. They require experience, training, testing, and demonstrated commitment to service. The promotion from firefighter to engineer is an important step, as engineers are responsible for safe operation of our fire apparatus, managing water supply at emergency scenes, and supporting the officer in charge to ensure operations are carried out safely and effectively. Firefighter Osti Shelmadine has met those expectations. In the fire service, a badge pinning holds special meaning. It's a visible symbol of trust, responsibility, and service, and it marks the moment when a firefighter formally accepts the duties and expectations of the new rank. It also recognizes the personal commitment required to reach this point, a commitment that extends beyond the individual and includes the support of the family. Tonight, Osti is accompanied by his family, who will play a critical role in supporting the work that he does in the fire service. We're especially pleased that his daughter Maeve and his son Parker will have the honor of pinning his engineer badge. At this time, I'd like to ask firefighter Osti Shelmadine to come forward, along with his wife Katie.
All right. You ready? Yeah. All right. No tears yet. Yeah. All right. So raise your right hand. When I say aye, you state your name, and we'll follow, okay? I
Osti Shelmadine,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the position of engineer
the duties of the position of engineer
for the city of Urbana in the county of Champaign, Illinois,
for the city of Urbana and the county of Champaign, Illinois,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will do to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States, the state of Illinois, and the charter and ordinance of the city of Urbana.
of the United States, the state of Illinois, and the charter and ordinances of the city of Urbana,
Acting rightfully for the citizens of Urbana.
acting rightfully for the citizens of Urbana,
So hereby affirmed.
so hereby affirm.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, after you guys can, I'll go ahead and sign. You can go to Darcy. She'll have you sign, and after that, you can use this to take pictures. All right? All right. Congratulations. Congratulations, guys.
All right. Next on the agenda would be the Ward 4 vacancy candidates. Would it be okay, Mayor, if I go ahead and ask for public comment first? So at this point, if you are here to speak to the Urbana City Council Committee of the Whole, I invite public comment. If you wish to comment, please come to the microphone, state your name, and make your comments. And I don't, you have an email to read?
Correction from last week, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Grace.
Thank you. This is checked with Deputy Clerk. I think okay, just wanted to reread a section of public input from last week and apologize that I misread a word in my hurriedness to read it, and it significantly changed the meaning of the paragraph. So this was public input from last week. Sarah Nixon, the full email is in the minutes and read last week, but I'll read the paragraph with the error. A word that should have been later, I said never and changed the meaning. So I'll reread that paragraph here. Local law enforcement, family court, and related agencies disbelieved us, minimized the harm, and ultimately punished me for trying to protect my child. When I attempted to relocate to my home country of Canada for safety, I was criminalized. Though that conviction was later, reversed, the damage to my daughter, to our livelihood, to our lives was already done. So, thank you. Just wanted to correct that section.
All right, thank you. Seeing no other public comment, we can move on to the Ward 4 vacancy candidates. Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you so much, James. So yes, first off, I want to say thank you to everyone, all of the original candidates that applied. As I said last week, we originally had 7 applicants. We ended up with 5 due to the fact that one was outside of the ward and then the other hadn't lived in Ward 4 long enough. So that brought us down to 5. And then from 5, there became 3. For one reason or another, you know, we had a couple people drop out, which, you know, again, understand it's a tall task. So I just want to say thank you to the final 3 individuals who had amazing interviews. We had great conversations, and I don't think that there's a wrong, you know, option here. So looking forward to hearing from you all. You will have 3 minutes to come introduce yourself, speak to, you know, what it is that you'd like to speak to, and if you are able, we ask that you know, stick around the last 15 minutes or so after the meeting just to engage with council in case they have additional questions, you know, outside of what we are able to outside of what you talk to. So again, we thank you. So don't worry, there's no hot seat. You won't have to worry about questions during the moment, but there will be, you know, engagement opportunities afterwards. So without further ado, first, we will call up Ms. Wendy Edwards.
And you, if you want, you can sit at a seat here and use one of those microphones, but you do have to turn it on, and you do have to bring the end of the microphone pretty close to where you're speaking. Yeah, you push a button when the light's green,
The light's green, now I gotta,
pretty close. There you go.
am I
That's perfect.
good now?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Hi, thank you for your time. My name is Wendy Edwards. I was born at Burnham City Hospital, and my first home was on West Elm Street in Urbana. After graduate school, I chose to return here in 1999, and Urbana has been my home ever since. The motto of my high school was Servium, I will serve. That idea has stayed with me. Professionally, I'm a senior software engineer for a nonprofit working in cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and security. I hold a master's degree in computer science from the University of Illinois Springfield and a second master's in library and information science from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. My career has centered on solving complex problems, managing risks, and building systems that people can trust. In the community, I've served as a first LEGO League mentor and judge, and I participate in CU 2600, a local security group. I've also served on a Champaign police interview panel. These experiences have given me exposure to public safety questions and the importance of thoughtful hiring, transparency, and accountability. There are 3 issues in Urbana that particularly concern me: fiscal stability, public safety, and distressed commercial areas. On revenue, Urbana faces structural challenges. The University of Illinois is an enormous asset economically and culturally, but it does not pay property taxes. Carl, as a nonprofit healthcare system, also continues to expand while remaining exempt. That puts pressure on the city's tax base. We need to be realistic, data-driven, and strategic about how we plan for long-term financial sustainability. On public safety, I believe we have to balance justice, privacy, and livability. Tools like automated license plate readers raise legitimate concerns about data use and civil liberties. At the same time, they can be effective in solving serious crimes. If Urbana adopts such tools, I want clear guardrails, strong policies, transparency, and meaningful public input. And finally, areas like Philo Road, Washington and Learman, and largely vacant Perkins Building show us that some parts of Urbana are struggling. I used to work at Sunnycrest, and I care deeply about Ward 4 and its surrounding neighborhoods. We need thoughtful redevelopment, economic opportunity, and continued engagement with residents, especially in those areas experiencing higher poverty and crime rates. If selected, I will come prepared. I will attend meetings, do the homework, and ask careful questions. I will listen to constituents, respond thoughtfully, and work constructively with fellow council members and city staff. I'm not seeking prestige, I'm seeking to serve. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Wendy. All right. Next, we will have Verdell Jones, the third.
Is it on? Okay. First and foremost, thank you all for having us here, and thank you to the other candidates who are stepping up. I think it shows the willingness to want to make change, and change doesn't come drastically. Sometimes it comes in small steps, and for me, this is just a small step towards wanting a better community to live in, but more importantly, a better community for my children to grow up in. I originally from the area, my family's from the area, so I know Urbana thoroughly. And I went away, played pro basketball for a while, went to collegiate route, and when I came back, I couldn't recognize the place anymore. A lot of things have changed, and it seems ever since COVID happened that things have drastically gone in the wrong direction. As a firefighter for the city of Champaign, I have a up close and personal view of kind of what's going on in our neighborhoods. Too many times, a lot of us wanted to just drive by and look the other way. But when you call 911 as a firefighter, we go there and we see everything unadulterated. You don't have time to put on a filter. You don't have time to clean up your house. We come in and see exactly how they're living. And I'm telling you, that we are in a serious crisis, a mental health crisis. Some of these houses on the outside look pristine, and you go on the inside, and there's hoarding conditions. And to me, these are pure examples of how someone's feeling inside. Our young people are lost with no direction. Our crime has risen out of control, and this is a small town. But I truly believe that with this team here and the leadership that we have right now, that change can be made, and that we can be the shining example, not just for Central Illinois, but for the state. Right now, we need positivity. We need light, and I think that this light and this positivity can happen right here in the city of Urbana. Now, I'm not going to say here that I'm better than any other candidate, 'cause I'm not. But I'm humble enough to work with each and every one of you, and I'm smart enough to know when to lean on someone else to get something done. And so I hope that if I am selected, I can work with each and every single one of you in creating a much safer and prosperous Urbana. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Last but not least, Ms. Karen James.
Hello. I wrote little notes. I didn't write a whole speech. But I moved here in 1998 from California. My parents had passed away, so we moved here to be by my husband's family. We lived at Scottswood, which I loved the area at the time when we moved here, and then we moved over in our town on Maple in 2003. And I love it. I love our neighborhood. I love all of our neighbors. And that is why I applied for this, because I just want to give family experience to what I've experienced in this town. I love the farmer's market. I love all the people in our town. There's like, you walk and there's like the lady that does the dogs. She does therapy dogs. There's the house that one of the old police chiefs lived in. There's a lady around the corner who has like this beautiful garden and she feeds the bees and she has notes out there. So whenever I walk through the neighborhood, that's what I look at. I look at things that are just beautiful and I want it to continue for people that are here after I'm gone. We recently had a tree that fell last year. And so they're going to put in a new one. So my husband said, "What kind of tree do you want?" I said, "I would like one that's good for 200 years, so it will be part of this neighborhood when we're gone." So that's what I look forward to. I've done a lot of committees. I've been on Alzheimer's committees. I've done the cancer walk. I've done the kids camp. I've done, I work at the cancer center, so we do a lot of just things in the program that I like to be involved in, just to get my name out there, see what's going on in the neighborhood. I've been a PTA mom, I've been a sports mom. I was a PTA mom when they didn't even have a PTA, and I didn't even have kids in the school. I just found out they didn't have a PTA, and I was like, I'll do it. It was a short. They were like, okay, you're in. And I was like, okay. Which opened me up to other programs in the neighborhood, and that's what I like, being on these things. It opens such a door to other things that you can get involved in that you didn't even know that were out there, and they're fun, and I just love the people, and that's why I put in my bid. My kids are all grown, so I have time. It's just me, my husband, my 2 dogs, so I have the time to be involved. And that's it. It's nothing fancy. I don't have a degree. I just have the love to help.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Karen. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you to all 3 of you all. We would definitely appreciate, again, you all taking the time to be here with us tonight. So stick around and get some engagement with our council. Thank you again.
I brought snacks too, because I'm a PTA mom, so I brought snacks.
All right, we'll take the snacks. Thank you.
I wondered who we had to thank for that. Thank you. All right. So anything you want to say, Mayor, before we move on?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, we have a staff report on the surveillance ordinance.
For today, we do not have an update from surveillance ordinance. However, we will continue next week with 3 departments providing updates. One, Public Works. I'll be providing some feedback based off the additional questions with Placer, as well as we will have the police department back as well.
All right, thank you. I would like to say that I appreciated staff's presentations last week. I thought that was very, very constructive conversation, and they were all engaged, and they didn't seem intimidated at all by the process or the possibility that they might have to do that as part of an ordinance. So that was very encouraging. Look forward to the next one. All right. Any other council members want to say anything on that before we move on? Mary Alice?
No, I thought it was council input. Sorry.
Well, I can move. No, it's not council input. It's the surveillance. It's not on here as a discussion item, but it's on here, so I was going to take advantage of that. Okay. Then we will move on to new business, which is a resolution number 2026-02-008R. Resolution rescinding resolution 2025-10-079R and revoking city council authorization to accept the fiscal year 2024 FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant. And I don't know who's presenting on this.
I can speak to that one.
Okay,
Our
thank
fire
you, Matt.
department representatives are unavailable tonight. So in a nutshell, this is a housekeeping matter. I would describe it as it's a formality. From the standpoint of the legal record of legislation passed by this council, having a approval of acceptance of the grant kind of standing out there, and having staff ultimately acting in a manner that is not consistent with that. We want to make sure that we're rescinding the approval so that it's consistent with the actions that have been taken in response to the vote on the budget item. So that's really all this is.
Any questions? Go ahead, Grace. All right. Well, I was going to ask a question just to clarify for the public, to be straightforward. The council approved accepting the grant and then did not approve the budget item that would allow us to actually spend the grant. And so that created a tension that this is designed to resolve. Is that a
Yeah,
correct way to state that?
That's accurate, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now I could have a motion. Yes, Grace?
I would move for approval, resolution number 2026-02-008R, a resolution rescinding resolution 2025-10-07R and revoking city council authorization to accept the FY24 FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Mary Alice. Discussion? Yes, Chris?
Just to remind the public that the reason we're rejecting a federal grant at this time is because of the instability of the terms of accepting federal grants at this time. However, the public should know, and I think I want to kind of confirm with council, we are committed to getting them those radios at some point, if need be, out of our own budget. So we're in no way opposed to handheld radios. Our intent is to get the fire department those radios, one way or another. We just can't accept the terms that may or may not. I appreciate the legal city attorney providing assurances that there is some contradictory language at the end of the terms, but I just can't trust it. And so we're going to reject the federal grant, but we are not rejecting handheld radios.
All right, Mary Alice, you were next.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, that vote to me was disappointing. I understand the viewpoints that council members had. For the public, one of the things, the original resolution only needed a simple majority, but the budget amendment needed a supermajority, and that would be 6 out of the sitting council members plus the mayor. And so those 6 votes were not obtained. I appreciate all the time. I was one of the first people who started questioning some of the terms. After Matt had reviewed some of the legal language, I felt more confident that what we were accepting was in line with what our constituents and our city stands for. It had contradictory information, certainly. So I just wanted to give people a background in terms of what happened and where this is coming from.
All right, thank you. Grace?
I have definitely the same thoughts, reiterate the issues for myself where this contract with Homeland Security is what it is that FEMA is under, so directly with Homeland Security right now, with very questionable terms that, in my opinion, are against the values of Urbana and not worth the risk for $60-some thousand. That's a drop in our budget, of which we have $3.5 million kind of wiggle room for the rest of this year. So I want to reiterate that other point, that I am definitely on board with a budget amendment to still get the radios. As someone who is very against accepting this grant, I'm also very on board with a budget amendment to be sure that they get the radios, especially since we have seen, since this was first coming up, that we do absolutely have the room in the budget for it. So I support that. I know we don't have fire leadership here for Dave, but if you could pass it along, or if they watch later, hopefully, definitely on board with bringing that budget amendment. And then just logistically, I think as Mary Alice summed up well, that this did have a regular majority support at the time, but not the supermajority for a budget amendment. I still don't plan to vote yes for a budget amendment. It looks like it might not have the votes to pass a budget amendment still, just with number of people and how people have felt on this issue. If this does fail tonight, we'll be in a very weird limbo state where we accepted the grant, didn't get it in the budget, and then didn't accept the resolution to not accept it. So just for people's consideration, if this did fail tonight, I don't know where or how we would move from there.
Yes, Mary Alice?
Well, that then just begs the question to Matt. If this fails, what happens? Is it just
Then we have a situation where we have essentially legal authority and direction from council to do one thing, but then a second action, of course, that is contradictory to that original piece of legislation, but subsequently, for all intents and purposes, nullifies the original resolution in terms of the acceptance of the grant and, you know, budgeting the money. It's just messy, mostly. I think there's not a lot of risk involved in having kind of an open-ended directive to staff and having staff act inconsistently with that, but there are circumstances where, you know, if a public employee acted outside the scope of their authority, you know, that can be challenged and overturned in a court. And so, you know, in this case, that's the potential circumstance, but I think it's relatively low risk.
All right, Mary Alice, would you take the chair?
I'll take the chair, and the chair recognizes James.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to support this because I'm not comfortable with a situation where we have two levels of guidance that are in contradiction from City Council. It's a very necessary and reasoned situation where the state has set up City Council such that you can pass things with a simple majority, but changing how you spend money in the course of the year requires a supermajority, and that's where we're at. And we've been here before with this council, where a majority of the council wants to do one thing, and the minority of the council that is enough to fail a budget amendment says, no, you can't do that. I think that's a challenging space to be, but if I was one of the minority, I would say it's a necessary place to be. I also will not question anybody whose motivation to not accept this grant is distrust of this current federal government, because I share that distrust. I am concerned, however, that we are sending money, all of us who pay our federal income tax are sending money to this process. And as we send money to this process, it's getting spent in places that follow the Lunatic King's direction. Yes, Chris, I am borrowing your phrase because I think it's very appropriate. And I just believe that I believed the explanation and the way Matt listed out how we would not be bound to do the things we do not want to do by accepting this. But I also believe that we're in the place that we're at because of the way our government has been set up in the state of Illinois, and I don't want to have us be in a place where there's two different conflicting things on the books. So I will support it, and I will take the chair back.
Would you like the chair back?
I would.
All right, I relinquish
you.
the chair.
All right, any further comment? Seeing none, and because this is not final action, all those in favor of sending this to City Council, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. That passes unanimously. Now we are at the point for council input and communication. Mary Alice.
Yeah, I wanted to draw attention to the Chinese New Year, which is just tomorrow. It's the Year of the Horse. I wish those who want to, who celebrate that, have a nice, fun Chinese New Year. I failed at something on Saturday, so I'm going to try and rectify it. I was asked to give some remarks at one of the events on Saturday at the Urbana Public Library, and one of the things I was supposed to do is thank all the community partners, which I failed to do. So I'm going to thank them right now, and I want to thank the Asian American Cultural Center at the University of Illinois 40 North, 88 West, Urbana Arts and Culture, the Urbana Free Library, Urbana Park District, the Krannert Center for Performing Arts, the New American Welcome Center, Rotary Club of Urbana, Lincoln Square Mall, and the City of Urbana. And we love Urbana. So I want to thank all of those who participated and all those who organized. It was a great event on Saturday. And then the second thing, which is not so fun, I was reading my water bill, and one of the things that I came across is that the people who manage and sell our water to us want to raise our rates to the tune of $28 each month for each household. So that seems like a very steep increase to me. I know we've been fighting this for years, and so I hope that the administration has some ideas on how we can continue that fight.
All right, thank you. Grace?
I appreciate bringing up the water increase, and sounds like we've got legal looking into it and some of our previous agreements and see what we can do in this case. Definitely appreciate keeping an eye up and updates on that. And wanted to thank the candidates in Ward 4 who are interested in volunteering. Thank you for coming out and sharing some a bit about yourself with us. And also wanted to let you know that this is not usually how short the meetings are. I don't know that we've been this short in like months and months and months. And yeah, do not expect it. We've been here till like 10 or 11 o'clock sometimes. So not always that late, but not frequently this short. So definitely appreciate your willingness to help us out. And yeah, if selected, hope you have your Mondays set aside for this. So thank you again for your willingness to participate.
All right, thank you. Chris, did you want to speak? All right. Mayor, did you want to talk about something that's coming up?
Yes, but I do want to piggyback off of what Councilmember Wilkins just said. I think that was something that we mentioned a couple times. Just, this is not normal, but Merry Christmas, all right? Give me 1 second. All right, so.
Since I stole your thunder the last time, I'm giving it to you.
You definitely stole my thunder, Quiz, but it's all right. It's all right. This is something that we are going to absolutely do for each ward, but we have our first listening session scheduled. The subject matter is Stronger Communities Start with Listening. So we're excited. So we'll have the first one for Ward 7. So myself and James Quisenberry will be, we'll be all ears, literally and figuratively speaking, Thursday, February 26th at 6:30 p.m. at St. Matthew's Church. That's 2200 Philo Road in Urbana. So if you have questions, thoughts, more so thoughts and concerns, please show up. Allow your voice to be heard as we are, again, we're moving forward. So want to make sure that the community is heard and involved as we plan ahead. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. With no further items on our agenda, the Committee of the Whole is adjourned.